Welcome back, class. It's time to make our northern light sky. After looking at how the northern lights move across the sky, they shoot upwards, if you've noticed. Hopefully you're paying attention to the colors that are there. I have lots of different chalk colors here, but paying attention to the colors that kind of blend together and work in the sky. And then also the bottom of the northern lights kind of feels like a soft, organic, curvy line. So we have the bottoms going curvy and the top of the northern light shooting up straight into the night sky, and then blends of color. If you go too deep with the colors, they'll look too opaque, which means you can't see through them and it won't look like they're lights. So we want to make sure that we get enough color down to make it show up, but not too much to make it too thick. So that's a challenge. For this assignment, you're going to get it's actually a sort of a cheap piece of paper. It's really toothy, which means that it has a good texture to it. So it'll accept the chalk well. Or if you're at home, you can be using colored pencil. Crayon would even work for this. Marker would not on the black paper, but Crayon would work as well, especially because it can blend out. So Crayon and chalk would be my first two choices, but I have chalk over here. So what we're going to do now is this paper is really, really black, and yeah, the night sky is really, really black. However, I'm going to add a little bit of color to it to sort of lighten it up. So I'm going to take either a blue or a purple or something that's going to add a little bit of softness to this black. And I don't want to rub it in very dark. I just want to rub it in a little bit lightly, just trying to change the color and make it look like the night sky sort of has some lights on. I'm not going to use the chalk across the whole paper because actually in the next step we're going to be making a landscape down here, so I don't really need to do that. I do want to plan ahead though and get far down. So that's a super light blue. I'm going to take my paper towel and rub it in, and this is similar to what we were working on with the cherry blossoms. The cherry blossoms we went even darker, so this is a little technique about how to get how to rub with the side of the chalk and get even lighter. So that kind of changes up our night sky, so it's going to look like it's a little bit lit up. I love this color. Purple would work really well. Putting down a yellow would be ridiculous, so I'm thinking dark purples and blues because it is the night sky. So using some chalk techniques now, I want to light up my sky. So I'm just going to actually use a lot of greens and light blue in here. So working very, very gently, instead of using the side of the chalk now, I'm going to use the tip of the chalk. And I want to create that organic feeling of the bottom of the northern lights and how it cruises across the sky. I don't want all of my lines to be the same. I want them to be irregular because that's how the northern lights work, in an irregular way. And then I'm going to shoot up lines. So now we've used the chalk on its side, and now we're using it as on the tip. I'm going to make my northern lights feel pretty consistent today, so same colors all over. That's my choice. Students can do it any way you want to. It's just how I'm working with it. I'm going to throw down so that every time I draw this line, I'm getting some chalk dust down, and I'm going to grab that chalk dust later, so I don't want to smear around my hand on here as I'm drawing. I get some blues in. I think I want, excuse me, that's green. I want to get a little bit of darker green in here, actually. And because I'm doing a demonstration, I'm just going to stop and not work all of my northern lights. I'm just going to work some sections. So what gets really tricky is when the line curves, students want to go like this and make the lines go out. The northern lights don't go out like a caterpillar or a centipede. They only shoot up. So I'm going to ask you to fight for vertical again, kind of like we did with our Van Gogh when we were working on those vertical and horizontal lines. And that's what's really going to give our northern lights that feeling of organic line and then shooting up. They're like contrasting or opposite ideas, which work fantastic. And then I'll grab in some yellows. I love my light yellows because I see those a lot in the northern lights. I've had an opportunity to see lots and lots and lots of northern lights. And then I'm going to add my white. And I think my white really kind of turns on the light. Now I'm not really grinding down or going really, really dark. I'm just making a few lines. And then when I go like this, because I made that organic line light, I kind of blend it in. And like this, working up. I'm not smearing side to side. I want to create that same effect of that up and down. And even in the pictures of Northern Lights, there were some bright areas and then some lighter areas. And so I like how bright and intense it is there, and how it's just a little bit dimmer over there, and that makes it feel like there's some action happening. And I would continue on with all of my lights. In order to finish it, often, but not always, because it's usually a clear night, I like to throw down some stars. Sometimes it is hard to see the stars with the Northern Lights, a lot of them, because the Northern Lights are so bright that they actually kind of take over the stars. But if you can imagine, I don't want my stars to look like polka dots. I want them to just feel more natural. So I'm just going to put down a very little bit of them, and that kind of makes it light up my night. So if you can imagine all of these done, you're going to get a feel for the Northern Lights. Thanks for watching, friends. Enjoy our color blending. Enjoy our organic lines. Fight for that vertical, and then creating that nighttime skies. There's so many right ways to answer this question, so enjoy exploring that. Thanks. Bye.